I forgot to record an intro video for the HellUvaWillys radiator surround and bracket and hold down thing that you see to my right. This was a huge project. Obviously in this segment we're going to go through how I went about mounting this Hellcat radiator to the HellUvaWillys front end. It was a lot of work, a lot more than I expected, which seems to be the trend for this car. But it is what it is. I'm going to go through exactly how I widened the frame horns and basically what's next on this. It turned out really good. I'm very excited about it. But I'm Zach Leber. This is the Laboratory. Let's get to work, but in rewind to fast forward to show you the ending that I just recorded to this intro. Confusing. Let's get to it. We're over at the main shop right now, Scott Rods. We have to cut all the flat stock for the radiator surround, and then we're going to have to jump back there on the press brake. I keep moving my mic away from my face. Jump back there on the press brake to bend a couple of the pieces up. We'll get back over to the laboratory garage and hopefully get this thing tacked together today and get it mocked up, because I'm excited that it's finally at this point, because I have a lot of stressful, sleepless nights thinking about this part because I have not been able to figure it out, but we're there. Let's go.
Okay, so we got to jump over on the STV CNC. I went through and designed a couple plates on Fusion to make the actual outside of the radiator surround itself. These are just the basic brackets for the piece overall. We're using 3/16 sheet metal. It's like a 30 by 25 dimension that we needed to run, and I'm going to go through, zero everything out, zero out our THC, which is our torch height control, and then we're going to go from there. Now we're going to hop over on the press brake and get all our base plates and mounting brackets bent to 90 degrees.
So now that we have all our steel cut, we got to go through, clean everything, deburr it, clean all our edges. That's super important when it comes to like plasma cut stuff, is you want to make sure all the edges are clean, because if you go to weld it, it's going to cause a bunch of porosity, which is no fun to deal with for anyone. So we're going to get the 8-inch DA out, one of the flat disc grinders, and a couple other things, and we're going to go to town cleaning this stuff up. We have all our steel cleaned up pretty nice. So what we got to do now is we're going to get everything set up in our little V-chucks or vices or whatever you want to call them. We'll get the lower half of the radiator bracket tacked together. We're going to use the AHP TIG welder, and then we're going to do the upper half. And I don't know how far we'll get with this today, but I want to at least see it around the radiator to get kind of a better idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished. But it should work out, maybe. I do apologize, I don't have like a really good way to show you guys how I'm doing this, but this is where the mounts are going to go on the bottom, and then Basically this will come up underneath, and then we'll have a top section that goes down, and it kind of just crunches it together. I guess I shouldn't use the word crunch. I can't really show both in the same frame, but you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to do here. I think it's going to work out well. I got another one to build. Oh, it's cutting in my hand really bad. Ow, ow, ow. Slid right down in. This might actually work. Shockingly, this worked on the first try. Obviously something has to go wrong somewhere along the line here, but now we got to go back over to the car. We have to pull the front clip back off. I did get all my measurements for how high this actually needs to be in the car to where it will still allow the front end to come down over top of it to where we need to go, and got all my other measurements ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll pull the front end off, we'll get the crossbar put in that will end up cutting the middle section of that out after everything's all installed. That will hold the frame horns in their new location, and then we'll set this guy into place. I made some pieces of angle to mount for the sides. Those will bolt in. We're not going to weld them in. Well, they'll be welded on the holder. They won't be welded on the chassis. They'll be bolted through. And then when that's all said and done, we're going to go back in, and then we're going to put a piece of 1 3/4 round bar, DOM, right across the front. Do we need it? Probably not. I just more want it so I have something to hold those frame horns at exactly 30.5 inches across. Plus also it will give us something just rigid for the front end. We're going to have to end up making some stanchions from the outside of the frame horns to hold the front end itself up, the clip. And then what's nice about this setup is, like, why I made this so heavy duty with the 3/16 is all of our hood hinge bracketry and mounting points are going to be up here. It gives us plenty to work with, which is super nice, because then we don't have to make something else to come up around and hold everything in place. It's going to make everything really rigid. I'm excited. This is working out a lot better than I thought. So like I said, something's going to have to go wrong at some point. This is how it always happens. That's not good. Okay, for the second time I've had to do this because I forgot to turn my mic back on. We're taking this piece of flat stock and going to tack it into place where the old frame horns were cut off. So right here and back over here. Yeah, you guys can see it. And what that's going to do is give me a spot for the cut off section of the frame horn to weld to. We're gonna end up putting some nice gussets in here and here at some point. And when everything's all put up, it'll make some more sense when it's done. I'm going to actually cut the flat stock out, weld everything in nice, and just kind of fancy it up. We want to be able to drop the radiator in between the frame horns, and these were at like 28 inches wide and I needed 30 and a half. So we're opening it up, sliding the radiator down in, and then we will be tacking in the flanges on top of the frame horns. So let's get to it. We have our frame horns tacked in. We have this crossbar in. Like I said, this is going to come out eventually. I think it's time to actually try and fit up the radiator with the surround in it. Hopefully everything comes together all right, because this was a lot of math. We're going to be changing these, but I am going to tack them in for now just so I can get sizing and placement correct. I need to get this part at least somewhat mocked in correctly. We have everything tacked in. It's time to drop the jack and see if it holds somewhat. I have everything centered up, leveled, everything tacked in very tight. So hopefully it just kind of stays in place instead of falls. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to work. I'm really happy. It seems to be working. Now we do have some stuff that we're going to have to change. As in, I'm getting a little bit of a bow across the top of this, and I think it's because the rubber that I put in there to kind of separate it is a little bit too thick. So we'll get that shaved down. This will actually drop down another 1/4 inch or so, and we'll have plenty of room for our fenders to go over top of this thing. It's gonna work. I'm really excited. This has been an extremely hard endeavor for me because there was just a lot of little things that I had to take into account. I don't think I'm gonna be able to put my round tube crossbar in here like I wanted to, but I might have another idea, which would consist of actually capping off the end with the round tube so it comes out a little bit farther. It would look really nice and it would kind of finish off the front of the car here, just so the radiator's not just sticking out in front of everything. I do want to have some type of breakaway here. I have to make some spacer blocks for in between here so that way it sits correctly on both sides. So as we pull it in, it's not like trying to shove everything in this way and then trying to bow the tops and the bottoms. The top and the bottom. I said that weird. It's getting late. I'm sorry. So we have a little bit more we have to tweak. I think that's going to be a project for next weekend because it's 11 o'clock and I'm tired. So we're going to cut it there. And yeah, I'm super happy. We are going to have to drill a couple holes here to get some of the transmission cooler lines through, but everything else seems to kind of line up oddly well. I'm super excited. Anyhow, I'm Zach Leber. This is the Laboratory. And until next time, guys, go build something. We'll see you.